Welcome back to another episode of Stingy Gamers. We're back at it again with the $100 budget PC build. It's packing the 750 Ti and the Q6600. Now, if you don't know about this build, I recommend you check out those videos up there. Check out that playlist. Go ahead and start from the beginning and see how we got to build this PC, the problems we ran into, and other issues that arose during building, which is quite unfortunate. But you can find that out yourself. It was a lot of fun though, and I love it. It handles beautifully. Like I'm so surprised at how well the FPS in the games are turning out to be. Another thing I want to mention is about the subscribers. On a lot of my other videos, I mentioned that at 1,000 subscribers, I would be giving out this PC, and I still will, but I want to cut that in half to 500 subscribers. So if you see any of my other videos that say at 1,000 subscribers, do know that now it's 500, and the reason for that being is that I figured that 1,000 is probably a little bit too unrealistic for short term. So hopefully at 500 we can kind of get there within the next few months would be reasonable, I would say. If not, then I'll probably cut it down even more. But so my goal is to get you guys to subscribe and like my videos. But if you don't like my videos, then let me know down in the comments below what I can do to my channel to improve it, so that you can like my videos and you can hit that subscribe button. Another thing I wanted to mention is I do have another build coming up. It's going to be in the $250 to $300 range. You may have seen it pop up some of my other videos about a polling to select the PC case that we're going to use. So that's still going on. I do want to mention, just kind of want to give you guys an update, that I'm kind of deciding already what parts I'm going to pick, and I will most likely be going for an AMD motherboard. So once I find out what motherboard it is, I'll let you guys know what socket and all that, so you guys can kind of pull down there and help me decide what CPU we're going to use. We are doing DOTA 2, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what we got here for the video settings. We are going to run 1080p first at full screen resolution. I'm going to go ahead and set this to best looking here, and I'm going to go ahead and do advanced, just so I can change the maximum frames per second to 240. That's because a default it was set at 120, and hopefully we can get higher than 120. So I mean, if we do, then at least we'll be able to see it, and that would be awesome. Alright, so we're in game now finally, and starting off, it looks like we're at around almost 60 FPS average or so. It's not too bad. Don't mind the gameplay itself, because I don't know what I'm doing. It says press O to level up. Oh, okay. So we'll level that up, whatever that is. I'm not sure what everybody's doing right now, but anyways, it looks like about 60 average. I mean, it looks pretty freaking steady, to be honest. It's not fluctuating up and down a lot. Hopefully, once we get into a little bit of a battle here or engagement, it doesn't fluctuate straight down, because if it dips down by a lot, then this might be not as playable as I would like. I mean, mind you, this is 1080p at the highest settings right now, so you don't necessarily have to play at these settings. For games like this, I would assume that you probably want to go a little bit lower on settings, so you can be above 60 FPS probably all the time. Uh-oh. Run, run. Noob. I'm talking about myself. Oh my god, why is everybody shooting stuff at me? Leave me alone. Ah. Damn it! Alright, well, as you guys can see here in the middle of the action, we actually dip down to like the 40s. But the good thing is that it's consistent. It doesn't fluctuate down to 40 and then back to 60 up and down. So we're not getting that stuttery feeling that you get sometimes when the FPS drops, because it's pretty freaking steady. And that's probably because DOTA 2 is extremely optimized. I mean, games like this are so popular and have so much money and funding and so much ongoing development work that these games probably never stop getting more optimized. Not to mention we're running a 750 Ti that's, you know, a couple years old. So I would assume that by now that card has been maxed out in optimization. See, so we got a little bit of action here. We are in the low to mid 40s. So not too great, but well, we're dead here. All right, here in the middle of the, see if I can upgrade something. But here in the middle of the game, I'm gonna see if I can mess with the settings here. Let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, so I don't know if I'm still connected or not, but we're gonna go ahead and jump this down to maybe right around probably there. We'll call that high settings. We won't go down all the way to medium because hopefully high will be fine if it's you know, around 60 FPS, and that's good enough. How do I get back to the game? Here we go. Okay. I'm not seeing too much an improvement, guys, to be honest. Let's see if we can get to the solid 60 FPS average. Maybe if we go down one more right there. So that looks about medium actually, because look, it's not even on low yet for texture. It's about half the things disabled. So I would say that's pretty close to medium, even though it looks to be on the more towards the lower end. Uh-oh, I hit apply twice. Okay. Yeah, let's get back to the game. Okay. So yeah, I think we can actually probably keep the settings maxed out, and it's not going to affect it. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention, probably not as much as I should have, but it looks like our CPU is pretty close to maxing out all the time. It looks like mid 80s to 90 or so usage, pretty much all the time. So as you guys can see, the graphics card is not even getting pushed that hard. So our CPU here is the one that's struggling and preventing us probably from getting that higher FPS. I would say that no matter what settings we put, we're going to be around this about 50 to 60 average, and that's probably due to the CPU. Now let's try 720p, see if that makes a difference. Because I got a feeling that 720p might put less of a stress on the CPU, but I'm not sure honestly if that's just gonna affect the way it, how should I put it? I'm not sure if it's not gonna make a difference because the CPU will still be maxed out. Maybe it'll just change the GPU stress to even lower. Okay, so 1600 by 900. And as you guys noticed, I maxed out the settings again. So let's ooh, I almost hit play again. I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay. So it looks like I was right. The CPU is maxing out here. So the bottleneck here is the CPU, not the graphics card. So unfortunately, this is pretty much one of the best CPUs we can put on this build. So it looks like this FPS is pretty much what we're going to be stuck with, no matter what settings we put. So I mean, you may as well say that you can play the highest settings on this at 1080p, because I mean, it's still very playable. And I mean, if the FPS is not going to change no matter what settings you pick, you might as well play on the highest settings, I would say. So I think that'll kind of wrap it up for Dota 2. It pretty good overall. I was expecting, to be honest, the FPS to be probably a little bit higher. I would say maybe like 60 to 80 range when the settings were low or on 720p, but that did not happen due to the CPU obviously getting maxed out, even though the GPU is holding on just fine. I mean, that 750i is pretty decently powerful. So I mean, a game like Dota 2 is probably not stressing it out too much. But the CPU, I mean, it's honestly pretty old. It's an old CPU, and you know, it just can't pull as much weight as the 750 Ti. So I expect for a lot of games the CPU to be a bottleneck unless the game is extremely GPU focused instead of CPU focused, which is normally what happens on FPS games. So I think that's why CSGO did so well, and I think that's why a lot of FPS type games will actually do very well on this PC. So if that's your thing, I highly recommend this. If it's not, if it's more games like this, I still recommend this. But there might be better builds. But there might have been a better build I could have done for $100 if I would have sacrificed a little bit of GPU power instead of a CPU. You know, and gotten a little better CPU, but that would have meant starting out with a completely different case, and you know, there's all sorts of variables that would have gone into that. But I think I would have managed. But overall, it's pretty good. 40 seems to be kind of like the minimum, and it doesn't spike up and down, so it just kind of stays around 40. So it's very smooth, as you guys can see. Okay, look at that. It's extremely playable. If I didn't have that up there, you probably wouldn't even notice it drops from 60 to 40. Alright, Sinji Gamers, I think that about wraps it up for this video. As always, let me know what, down in the comments below what you guys think I should change, you know, improve my channel. Alright, Sinji Gamers, I think that about wraps it up. As you guys can see, Dota 2 is a win. And not what we would have hoped for, but it's still a pretty good win. And so let me know down in the comments below what I can do to improve my channel. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And, you know, obviously you'll be entered for a chance to win that baby right there.